All right, guys. This is a big one. This is one we're excited for. This has been planning in the works for quite some time now. We're excited to get everyone together. As you can see, this is somewhat of a gathering of Survivor YouTubers here. No contestants, just fans turned content creators, I guess. And we are all here today 1 hour before the season premiere for one single purpose, and that is to give a review of Kanye West's new album, Donda.
That's right.
So, Alexa, what'd you think of Donda?
I mean, if anyone knows anything about me, it's that I am a gigantic Kanye West fan. So I'm really glad that you came to me first on this, Adam.
So 10 out of 10, is that what I'm hearing?
11 out of 10, but I didn't want to be too dramatic.
Absolutely. So besides Donda, I guess we can move on to like the other thing we're doing. We are here to promote, to kick off, to get excited for it, to prepare for the season premiere of Survivor Season 41. I should have checked the day counter. That would have been cool to have. I don't know if there's like a day between dates website, because I'm sure it's been quite a bit.
Riley, you mentioned it was 18 months, right?
Oh,
I think it has been about 18 months since Survivor, so it's been such a long time.
Yeah.
geez. Yeah, what, like late May of 2020, and we're now in late September of 2021. So it's cool to get the season back. Apparently we got some new twists, some new additions. We have the cast, we have some promos. So we are here to talk about it all again, in addition to reviewing Donda. But we have a little timer here going because we wanted to thank you guys all for watching it. In addition, I'm sure some of you are at watch parties. Some of you are maybe at work and have the screen on in the background or something. Whatever it is, thanks for being here watching this with us. Hopefully we'll get you even more hyped and excited for it. So that's the timer. We're going to keep it short so that we don't dip into the episode here. But we're just going to preview it for a little bit. Gideon, do you want to maybe introduce everyone that's here?
Yeah, sure. Well, guys, thank you for watching. You guys know me and Adam. We are the two Survivor buffs of Reality Pop. Next up, we got the boy, Riley, aka Snuffed, has an amazing YouTube channel where he breaks down Survivor. The classic Survivor specialist, Alexa, and amazing breakdowns of her podcast with Phil. The guys that I go to sleep to. I go to sleep to Survivor breakdowns and Survivor videos. I don't doubt he makes amazing videos about Survivor, and Peridiam as well makes amazing videos about Survivor. They do the, edited stuff. Us podcasters, we don't know anything about that, but commend them for that. They know how to edit. So yeah.
It's exciting to see everyone here. Analytical Strategy, another great Survivor YouTuber, should be over there in the comments. He's going to join you guys for the live chat. He couldn't be here live because of work obligations, but he has prepared a little video about his hopes and expectations for the season. I'm going to premiere that for you guys later on, maybe around the halfway point. We maybe have one or two more people joining us as we go on, so stay tuned for that. Potentially, Phil, the second half of Survivor Specialists, also has a work obligation, but he sent me a text that he wanted me to read during this show. He said, Phil from Survivor Specialists is going to go with, for his winner pick. We're going to do winner picks at the end, but I'll say Phil's now. His winner pick is Jarius, or JD, because he openly admitted to Entertainment Weekly that he listens to the Survivor Specialists, and people who listen to the Survivor Specialists before going on Survivor are so far undefeated. So, couple things to break down there. First, if you're going on the show, you got to listen to the Survivor Specialists. Yes. Second is Phil's pick is JD. We'll see if he comes up again. But he also said, ask Alexa to cover how the specialists are going to be covering season 41. So great transition into that part of the show. Alexa, what can we expect from the Survivor Specialists from season 41?
Yeah, we are really excited too. I know we're like we talked about the 18 months here, but we're really excited to get back into our consistent schedule. So we will be recapping on East Coast time directly after the episodes every single week. So looking at 9 p.m. or 9:05 p.m. Eastern time every week, and then we also have our predictions and power rankings, typically on Sundays or on the weekends leading up to the following episode. And we've had a pretty good track record the past few years of getting some really fun guests. So hoping to keep that going.
Absolutely. I'll pass that question on to Idled Out, Peridiam, Snuffed. If any of you guys idled out, do you want to go first? Are you preparing to cover season 41 in some capacity?
Yeah, I'll be doing what I did for season 40, which, 18 months ago. It's been a long time. Probably no one even remembers, but I was doing just like kind of lighter stuff, like just like 5 things I noticed throughout the episode. So I'll kind of be doing that. Hopefully those will be coming out on Fridays if I can make that schedule. So just be hopefully people will be looking forward to that.
Sure.
I'm just
same
gonna be
for you.
covering just more Big Brother, no Survivor this time. Sorry guys. No, it's been fun. I'm gonna hang my hat up. 18 months too long. They lost me. But no, we got Survivor videos every Wednesday. The usual. Been doing it for 4 years. This will be the 4-year coming up in October, which is just crazy to think that it's still happening and there's even more people. We actually have video talk. I used to just be talking to myself on my small little laptop in a corner, and now we're this. I love it. I'll just be making the Survivor videos. I also plan on going live on most likely on Twitch once a week at least. I'll be doing. For season 40, I had this battle map idea that I animated. I want to do that more live on Twitch with that, and it won't be as animated because it's live. But yeah, I want to do that too. So I'm excited.
Very cool. Riley, same question. How you covering 41?
Yeah, this will be my first live US Survivor Season 2 cover, so I'll be trying at least to do a quick podcast recap after the episode, probably a couple hours after the episode. And then on the weekends, I'll be doing a power rankings video as well, taking a look at where all the castaways are in the picture after each episode as well.
Awesome.
What time do the episodes air for you, Riley?
So I think 8:30 p.m. for you guys on the East Coast at least, which I think equates to around 11:30 a.m. So I may be cutting a little bit into my work hours when I'm watching it, but I'll just take a lunch break to watch Survivor. It's always good fun.
Yeah, it's worth it. Sounds like it. Yeah. All right. So now that we've got that covered, another question we want to ask you guys is, what are your general expectations for season 41? We've had a lot of information come out about it. I've seen like 500 different Reddit threads about different conspiracy theories.
600.
What do you get? Yeah, 600. Yeah. What do you guys think season 41? What's your expectations for it, Alexa?
So I think, at the very least from a player perspective, all of us so far, we've said the phrase 18 months like 6 times already, and we're 8 minutes in. These players are feeling that, but I think times 10, because they actually were out there waiting, quarantining, wanting to play. I can't imagine what this casting process must have been like. So I think these players are going to come out really, really guns a-blazing. I think in a good way. I think there's obviously, myself included, a lot of people have had a lot of conflicting thoughts on some of the new twists that are coming out. But I think what I'm really excited about is a cast that is really, really going to bring it.
Yeah. Luke?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think we're going to see a lot of people come in really hard out of the gate. A lot of really sloppy, messy gameplay to start. Probably a bunch of big characters like signing their own death warrants early. Look at David. That guy has early boot written all over him. You just got people who are going to play super, super hard and just Drew Christie it up. And I'm all in.
Yeah, I think Alexa, touching on the whole 18 months thing, like a lot of these players were on this season back when it was supposed to originally be filmed 18 months ago. And even I think it was even longer than that, because it was probably in between Winners at War that would have been filmed, I guess, right as COVID had just hit. And so I was listening to some of their preseason interviews at times leading up to tonight, and to hear them be like, we were ready to go and then it got taken away from us. And now they're here, and knowing what we know about this season, that it's even faster, presumably with the 26 days. I'm just thinking like this is going to be, it's a 2-hour premiere, and it's 18 months in the making, and we've got a bunch of new players who are seemingly super fans of the show. This could be some of the fastest gameplay, some of the most exciting gameplay we've seen in a premiere episode, maybe in 41 seasons.
Yeah, these guys are definitely hungry to play. And Jeff Probst said it time and time again throughout the preseason over the last month or so. It's going to be a monster of a season. So, to see all these 18 castaways, starved of Survivor for so long, not being able to play, and then finally they get the chance to emerge on the island. It's going to be crazy to see what new twists are thrown at us. I'm sure Jeff Probst has alluded to it many times. It'll be a new era of the show. So to see, all the different twists and turns is going to be really exciting.
It's going to be a monster of a season.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as you guys saw in the I think the most recent promo for it, Jeff stated, which I feel like there's a decent bit of truth to it, the fact that like a lot of Survivor twists at first didn't exactly land, whether it was the immunity idol in Guatemala or the first tribe swap on Africa, and some of those things have sort of become, for better or worse, staples of the show. So I think they're taking I think the Survivor production is seeing this similar to how like the Survivor diehards are, that like around the Samoa heroes versus villains era, it kind of was the shift between old school and new school, with Tocantins maybe being kind of like the send up, the climax or the last act of old school Survivor. So I think production sees it 20 seasons before, 20 seasons in the middle. I think it kind of hit perfectly, and we had a similar sort of like send off or cap to the what we now call new school, but in 10 years we might call middle school, or in 20 years we'll call elementary school, or whatever we'll call it from here on out. But I think
it's possible season 41 will, in some weird way, depending on what we get, it could be completely like almost a different feel. It could be just new school, everything prior to it, especially with the 39 days differential. It could be, this could be like 40 seasons of old school, and then 40 more seasons now we're getting into the new school. We're just starting out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be weird to look at something like Game Changers way down the road as like an old school season, or
and be like, the gameplay was so slow on 35. Like,
I don't know if I can take it any more faster than it is, to be honest.
Same.
Wishing for the good old days of Ghost Island.
When the game was simple.
We'll definitely touch a little bit more later on how we think the 26 days and the sort of monster of a season, dangerousness that Jeff has been promoting, how that might affect the game. But I did want to show Analytical Strategies video before it was too late. But Gideon, did you want to cap off this part? Did you have any general expectations, or did we kind of
I mean, they really hit the nail on the head here. I really want to see fast gameplay with the 26 days, because that's like such a big part of the changes that are coming this season. And also this cast, I don't know if it's just because this is the first time I'm covering a cast, but this cast just seems so personable and likable. I mean, I can see myself rooting for. I mean, there's not really a person I don't like. So it's going to be interesting to see how they work within their tribe dynamics, and then when they get to the merge and everything else like that. I definitely think there's a few people, or a lot of people, that there's to root for this season.
What do you think has I'm going to ask everyone just real quick, like, what do you think has been, I was just thinking this now, like the most fast-paced season? Because like when you compare something like Africa, or even like some of the most of Australian outback to like nowadays, it almost seems like night and day. Like it's almost like, how can the game get any more fast-paced? Just seems like really since like Samoa and Heroes and Villains, it's just been so like the second you hit the beach, immediately it's all alliance talk, it's all strategy. So it's almost like how much more fast-paced can it get? But like, I don't know, I'm just curious what you guys think maybe is the more fast-paced season we've seen. Maybe Winners at War.
Yeah, this is probably like not an exciting answer, but I would say Winners at War, or or 39 because excuse me 39 because I think at least on our podcast we obsess over the one character moment per episode, and so I think every cast just looks back on the previous season and wants to go faster.
I think Game Changers, honestly, I'm pretty good at remembering what happened and why for every season. And Game Changers is just a blob of mush in my brain. Like maybe it's because after Tony was voted out, I was like, I'm done. I don't care anymore. And then Malcolm went out and I was like, I'm really done. But I can barely even keep track of what happened in that season.
Yeah, ask somebody why Michaela got voted out without looking into postseason information, relying only on the episode. You might be confused.
Yeah, and then Winners at War, as Alexa said, obviously there was so many twists in it with the fire tokens and Edge of Extinction that, it was just constantly fast-paced. And certainly to see a season that rivals that in terms of speed, really got to, as Survivor super fans, we've got to keep on learning more new things as the game evolves, really, and it gets, ever so faster. You compare Borneo to this season coming up, I'm sure it's going to be a massive contrast there.
I will say, I thought when the premiere of Winners at War happened, I thought this was the fastest we'd ever seen thus far. Knowing that season 41 is a 2-hour premiere, maybe it's a little bit slower because they have more time to cover the premiere episode. I think it's one boot, but it is probably taking place over 2 days, where it's the same thing as Winners at War, which was also taking place over just 2 days. Natalie Anderson was voted out on day 2. So that's going to happen here as well on season 41. So I just feel like we're just going to see a parallel. I mean, they're not returning players, so maybe it's slower. I don't know, but yeah.
I agree. I think Winners at War was the fastest pace, but I actually think it was a little too fast paced because of the whispering at Tribal. If they start whispering during Tribal in 41, please strap a mic inside their mouth so we can hear or something, because
can that be one of the new changes?
Africa. So I was going to say South Africa has like inaudible whispering at the bottom. They just don't even subtitle it. They just tell us it's inaudible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I kind of crack up at it every time because I'm like, thank you. Like, just they're in on the fact that it's just unintelligible. We don't know what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on.
Say what it is.
I guess
it's seeped into other international versions now too. Yeah. That's horrible news.
I know that's not good.
What's interesting is like a tribal council, they have like 30 cameras going, because they have a camera on every single person so they can get the reaction shots, and then they have like doubles, triple shots. It's like, cameras are obviously like 30 times more expensive than mics. So it's like, I don't, they have 30 cameras going. Why not have just like surround sound microphone going? I don't know, but
I mean, I watch a lot of CBS reality shows other than Survivor that are like dating shows, and for those, they all have mics strapped up on their chest. So I don't know why they can't do it with Survivor. Maybe because it's not a dating show, but
Yeah. Well, cool. We was trying to share the screen real quick so you guys could see. 42 minutes, getting close. Before it's too late, I definitely wanted to share Analytical Strategies video with you guys. He prepared like a nice 2-3 minute video just on his overall similar to like the first question we asked everyone, just their sort of general hopes, expectations are for the season, based on a fairly decent bit of promo they've given. So let me just go ahead and pull that up now. It's gonna look kind of weird for a quick second here, but oops, I might not have shared my audio. Gideon, distract everyone. Stall them. Tell them a Survivor joke.
No. Okay, this is the case of the Survivor joke. I had a Survivor joke planned and I didn't have a punchline last time we did a podcast, and now I still don't know the punchline. It was how many survivors does it take to change a light bulb?
I don't know.
Well, you don't have to have a punchline this time either, because
yes, let's go.
Hopefully, you guys can hear it. But here's Analytical Strategy. If you don't follow him now, go ahead and follow his Survivor YouTube channel. Great editor, gives a lot of cool insights on some things you probably would have never thought of the game. Some top 10 lists, just strategy breakdowns, a little bit of everything. Here's his video. Hopefully,
G'day everyone, Analytical Strategy here. I'm really sorry I couldn't be there with you all today, but a big thanks to Adam and Gideon for still letting me be involved within this podcast.
You're welcome.
I'm really stoked to have Survivor back on our screens, and I'm that keen for the season to kick off. Now, although there are some changes to expect this season, the game is constantly evolving, and it'll be very interesting to see how the players adapt to these additional changes. One thing I was actually really intrigued about was how fire tokens may be used in the game with the Edge of Extinction no longer in play. But I've heard they aren't going to be included within seasons 41 or 42, so that may be one twist that hasn't gained much traction. So the game may go more back to the basics of more focusing on societal constructs and interpersonal relationships. Which I think can only benefit the game overall. I've also read that obviously that can't come without a couple of twists in the game as well, such as an exile or potentially a summit type situation, similar to what we saw within Survivor Millennials versus Gen X. I actually quite like the idea of a summit, as it does allow for the commencement of cross-tribal alliances to form prior to tribe swaps and merge type situations, which is obviously a really risky strategy in itself, but it is one that can pay off if you can pull it off correctly. However, I think the biggest shift in the game, which we may not necessarily see through our screens, but it will definitely have a role to play out there on the island, and that's through the reduction of days from 39 down to 26. Now, on the surface, you would think from a survival aspect that this would be a lot easier given a third of the days have been removed. However, don't be surprised if production doesn't make this an easy season compared to previous seasons of the show. Now, from a strategy standpoint, I could see it allowing for people to potentially play harder from the get-go, given it'll likely be in 2-day chunks compared to the standardized 3-day chunks, allowing less time to make counterplays on your opposition. Now, on the contrary, due to less time to create in-depth strategies, we may see alliances be more likely to stick together long-term in the game as well, so it could really go one of two ways. But one thing that will remain consistent is that Survivor is so unpredictable. Without knowing the in-depth structure of the season or the full list of advantages and twists in play, it will be one crazy ride, that's for sure. Now, obviously, the season in the end does come down to the people who are playing it. Yes, the cast of the show. Now, unlike most superfans of the show, I actually prefer watching each season without really having much of an idea who is playing, and I prefer to get to know them as the show unfolds rather than doing a heap of research prior to the game taking place. Now, this could be due to me looking up casts previously, and I have had seasons spoiled by doing so. So this time I've actually steered clear, other than seeing a list of their names and faces, from looking too deeply into who is actually playing the game. So whilst I can't really give a winner's pick at this stage, I have actually heard really good things about who will be playing this season, and I am really excited to see them on our screens. So thanks again to you all for having me today, and I really look forward to seeing each of your content as the season unfolds. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you soon. Cheers.
Cheers.
There we go.
Nice job.
Very cool.
Yeah. Adam, I feel like he called us out a little bit in that video because he was talking about doing in-depth preseason, like stalking of the players, and that's exactly what we did.
We might have went too far though.
I think we might have uncovered some things we didn't want to uncover, but it's okay.
No, I think we found some of their socials before they were ready to be seen by the masses. But
yeah, it's possible.
Anything controversial?
No, but I mean, we've talked about this openly, me and Adam. We have a theory, and we're prepared to look stupid, but we have very good information that because we stalked our social media that Sydney probably gets medevaced. So we did some pretty extensive research. If we're wrong,
all right,
it was actually the Survivor specialist that did it. It wasn't us. So
I'm keeping my mouth shut. I don't know anything. I actually this is the first cast that I did not like dive too much into because it's like a lot of work, and also too I don't know. For me, I want to go in and know nothing, and I have been very lucky to have not been spoiled too much. So I hope that's not true because then that means I didn't get spoiled. No,
it's just.
I also hope for her leg.
It's a theory. It's a theory. It's just a theory.
I hope her leg as well.
Yeah, exactly. So we heard in that video a lot was talked about the 26-day period, and we wanted to know what you guys thought about that more in depth. He brought up a lot of good points, like maybe people will get scared and just stick to the same alliance the whole time. What do you guys think is going to happen, Alexa?
I really like what Luke said earlier about some potentially messy gameplay. I think with 26 days, I think there's a lot of opportunity for overthinking, and I know Jeff has kind of happily said that players are going to have to make decisions hour by hour, which I think has sort of become the standard, but that's got to be really intimidating, especially for the types of players who are not super adaptable to that. So I definitely see like maybe some quote unquote wrong decisions being made just because of timing. But I mean, in terms of like quarantining and like safety of players potentially not having to get medevac or not losing as much weight, or all those situations, I get the 26 days. It definitely feels a little cut out, but obviously player safety is important.
Yeah. I hope it doesn't affect, I hope we don't see it that it's a clear 26 days in the edit. I still hope it has the same feel as the old show. What about you, Luke?
I think what we see on the TV end is going to be basically exactly the same. I think from our point of view, it's going to look exactly like a 39-day season. And I mean, I'm probably more in favor of the 26-day thing than most people. I mean,
That's a hot
safety of everyone.
That's a hot take. That's a hot take.
I'm like pro 26-day for this cycle, at least. Maybe not moving forward, but I mean, yeah, we're in a pandemic. I mean, it's a miracle we have this show anyway. If they had to do a 26-day season to make it happen, then I'm happy.
Okay. What about you, Peridiam?
I've seen some people say 26 days means it's not as worthy of a win. Would you guys agree or disagree with that?
I disagree.
I disagree with that.
Okay. I've seen it brought up, and I'm like, I don't agree with it at all.
I mean, do we have to bring up Chris
Survivor,
Underwood?
I was about to say Chris played like 8 days, so
yeah,
the bar is so low at this point. For what constitutes a winner of Survivor? I'm sort of 2 minds. I think more than likely, I think it will result in faster gameplay. We're going to see a little bit. People don't have those off days. Normally, an episode of Survivor covers 72 hours or so. Now it's 48. I think it may even sometimes be as small as 1 day, I think, towards the end of the season. And that's sort of normal in most seasons anyway. But now it's going to be even just more rushed with more people getting there. I think there's a potential with this. I watch a lot of Big Brother, and if you don't, the producers love to throw in twists that normally you would think would shake up the game. And in the case of the Survivor, this somewhat is a twist, but maybe it's going to become a mainstay. So for the first season that has happened, we'll see what happens to the game. But before we ever know what happens here, it could result in what was being said by Analytical Strategy, that when the waters get rough, players oftentimes, at least on Big Brother, tend to brace for impact, which means that they try to do their best to not like keep the boat rocking, but instead try to just make sure they don't fall off, which results in oftentimes slower gameplay, more predictable gameplay. Maybe not nearly as bad because Survivor is lucky in that it's not live and we don't know exactly what's going to happen, and the editors can make magic out of all the footage. But like in the event that it does somewhat become predictable, I wouldn't be terribly surprised, but I do think more than likely it's going to be fast. And with the way that the meta of Survivor up to season 40 has been getting faster and faster, and there's all these different twists thrown their way, and there's only now less days to even figure out what to do with it, I think it's just going to get sloppy, which is fun. So I'm here for sloppy.
Yeah, I think sloppy gameplay will be a thing this season, and especially if they throw so many big twists at the wall. We saw it happen in Australian Survivor this year, for those of you that watched it, where they had 2-day blocks. So they were voting every 2 days, basically, which is similar to what will happen here with the 26-day twist. And so many advantages and twists being thrown at the wall that you saw these players that were on the bottom at the beginning really fight their way all to the end, just because, they got a twist, or, things got scrambled around a lot and the game was going at such a fast pace. Those massive targets almost got the target shifted away from them, and then it got put onto other players. So I think certainly what we'll see in this season, if it is fast paced and there's lots of advantages, we'll see lots of chaotic gameplay, I hope. And, maybe we get another Tony Vlachos-like winner that just goes balls to the wall, plays very hard from day one, and rides all the way out to day 26.
I also think looking at like the calendar that you can find on True Dark Times, they have like a potential mock of what season 41's calendar will look like under 26 days per episode. And it's interesting to see like the merge is going to happen by like maybe day 12. Which is just like you'll know these people for less than 2 weeks, so the relationships won't be nearly as like forged by 3 weeks, day 21, 22,
fluid
23.
alliances.
Yeah, you're gonna get more fluidity because the bonds they forged aren't nearly as like cemented in the time that it takes for 3 days versus 2 days. So yeah.
They will still have those downtime days though, like because they're like there's not a lot of like reward challenges this season, right? Like those are pretty much
That's what we're hearing. Yeah.
yeah, those are like pretty much gone or
Are
mostly
Are
gone.
they confirmed to be gone? I don't remember if I've heard that or
I
not.
think it's
Very-
like less.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
heavy speculation that there's not a lot of reward
Or
challenges.
they'll
Yeah.
be combined maybe with immunity challenges.
Yeah, probably.
which has been happening more and more over the past couple seasons. I feel like they've been
Mhm.
combining immunity and reward a lot. I heard they were cutting. I heard, from what I heard, it was they're cutting back on the rewards. I don't know if that means that they're cutting back on the number of reward challenges or if they're cutting back on just how good the rewards are. Like instead of a barbecue feast, it's like one piece of steak, or instead of like
Give you a
you
couple
know, a whole-
Doritos.
the whole yeah.
Oh, not the Doritos and the Mountain Dew, man.
That would be fun though to have like really rewards that are more like akin to rewards from season 1 or 2 versus the like giant platters they get now.
That's why they spliced in Africa in their promo for this season. It's because they want to jog our memory.
Yeah.
Sell some
Right.
goats.
Yeah, you win in like a cupcake or two. Okay, cool. I wanted to quickly show where our timer was. Okay, so we're already a little past the halfway point, getting close to that premiere. I know we're all getting excited, and wanted to transition to the second half of this gathering here. I feel like up until this point, we've been keeping things pretty safe, pretty conservative. But you can have hype being built for season 41 without giving at least one somewhat controversial hot take. And we thought there's no better person to give a quick hot take on the season than Coach Drew. So, Coach Drew, thanks for joining us today. How you been? What's your hot take? What can we expect from season 41 here?
How y'all doing? Well, first of all, I'm wearing my, not ironically, I didn't plan this, but I'm wearing a rugby shirt, and it's the name on the shirt is my least favorite tribe merge name. It says America for the people that say it. I didn't realize that it said that when I bought the shirt for $60, but my shirt says America. Appreciate you guys having me on. It's great to be with literally everyone that inspired me to do my 40 seasons and 40 days thing at the beginning of COVID. So thank you to all of your channels, Idled Out, Peridiam, Survivor Specialists, and Snuffed. I really appreciate it for getting me, having me go through that challenge, which was a lot easier than I thought it would be. So as far as the hot take for this season, I feel like I'm going to hedge my bet with it because it's not really. So I feel like people are expecting this season of Survivor to kind of go how the season of Big Brother is going. And for anyone that wants my opinion on that, watch my previous episode of Survivor Hot Takes. I don't think that the winner of Survivor is going to look like the winner of Big Brother from this season. And I'm hoping that's not the case because I'm rooting for Eric. That's my winner pick is Eric. But I also feel like no matter how many twists, no matter how many days less that this season is, I feel like people will hold this season very high for the next few years. Much how like people still hold Pearl Islands very, very high. I love Pearl Islands. People tend to skip over the fact that they have a returner twists in that season. And it's funny because people like to poop on other seasons where there are returners, but it so happens that people just forget it happened in Pearl Islands. So I feel like no matter how many twists they introduce in the season, people will love it because we haven't had Survivor for 18 months. I feel like the gameplay will be very fast-paced. I'm very vocal about the fact that people that play overly strategically are sociopaths when it comes to Survivor, not in real life. They're wonderful people in real life. In game, people that play overly strategic, probably sociopaths. So I feel like we'll see a lot of that gameplay this season, and I feel like someone said earlier, the social aspect will kind of take a back seat. I still think there is a way for a person to play socially with the limited amount of time, but it'll be interesting to see if you get a situation where you have like a Michelle Fitzgerald or a Tommy or a Vecepia, where a person just builds these bonds with people with a limited amount of time and are still able to pull out a win at the end. I'm hoping for a great season. I think that no matter what happens in a couple of minutes or however long we have left, we will all be in tears when the Survivor theme starts to play. Whenever Jeff, comes on screen and he says his whole spiel, the theme starts playing. I fully expect to be in tears. I fully expect all of you guys to be in tears. You guys wouldn't be real Survivor super fans if you weren't. So that's my hot takes, which is not really much of a hot take. It's just kind of my opinions going into the season.
And Drew, real quick, how are you going to be covering the season?
Okay, so the Survivor buffs have their thing, and I look forward to watching it every week after the episode comes on. Sundays, I will be doing more of a
day after. I said check us the day after.
Day after. Okay, so Sundays it'll be more for all of my sports fans out there, much like an Undisputed or a First Take. Not that heated because I'm not a passionate person.
I disagree.
So it'll be more of, how giving different. It'll be the exact same thing as the recap, except for we're giving more of our opinions on what we think will happen next, as not really an analysis of how the episode went. And, it'll lead right into the next episode. I hope to have some fun guests throughout the season. And, I hope to go on a rant here or there. I do get very into these things, so I'm hoping that I have at least one tirade that might get me a few pings on the Survivor cesspool, or Reddit, as normal folks call it.
Very cool. Very cool. I wanted to ask everyone that was here, just in general, like, do you guys have any? Obviously, it's so early on, and we have such little information about these guys. I know some written interviews, like maybe 1 minute TikToks on each person. We have such little information, but at this time, does anyone have? I know Drew, you said Eric, but everyone else, do you guys have a winner pick at this moment? Maybe two. If you don't have like a solid winner pick, maybe just someone that you're rooting for or excited to see, so we can kind of snake through. Alexa, do you want to go first with that?
Yeah, I was waffling for a while. There's three players who have really stuck out to me in their interviews for, I think, who could win. I really, really like Tiffany. I think her story is great. I think her energy is great. I think the fact that we have both a Tiffany and a Heather on this season, I think is awesome. And Heather is another person who I really like. I've kind of mentioned all of them, as well as like a shout out to Ricard as well. Those have been kind of the three who have been top of mind for me. I think Heather had one of the best answers in her parade article, where he had asked, what do you look for most in an alliance partner? And she gave, in my opinion, the best answer, which was somebody who is a rational thinker, which sounds really obvious, but a lot of people want someone who they can trust. But she made a really good point that I want somebody who will analytically make the correct decision and not the emotional decision. And I thought that was just a very, very smart answer. And that's somebody who really, really understands how to win Survivor. So I will, for this podcast, I'll formally say Heather with a huge shout out to Tiffany and Ricard.
Very cool. Luke, you got a winner pick?
So my official winner pick, I think, is someone who's going to be really underrated. I think that people are really, really sleeping on Chantel. I think she has an awesome story. Basically went from she said she was in a gang, and now she's a pastor. I just think she seems on paper, just a really, really great Survivor player. And I also want to shout out Ricard. He lives in the Seattle area. That's where I live. Obviously, I'm going to rep the Seattle, so I'm really pulling for him to do well as well.
Cool. Peridiam, you got a winner pick for us?
Yeah, you guys have been floating out the names I've been floating out. I've been at the top of my list. If I had to pick one person though, and I usually like to think of winner picks more like episode 1 or 2 or 3. Preseason, it's really hard to judge. The moment the first 5 minutes are up, I'm like, oh, they didn't get a confessional. It's over. I'm gonna say Ricard. I really like Ricard. I really love. He seems very sensible. He's got the YOLO mentality. I think that'll play well. I really like him. He's funny. He says he's funny. He seems like he's got a lot of confidence. He knows not to be too funny. And he seems incredibly self-aware to where I just think it feels like this game is going to work very well with him with the cats that I've seen. I think he's going to be able to fit in just well, and I have faith. So.
Well, I'm pretty high this preseason on Sydney Segal. I'm really liking what I'm seeing, and I hope what Gideon says isn't true. Usually he's wrong, such with his opinions of Survivor Gabon. So I do hope. Okay. I'm pissing him off already. I do hope that Sydney actually goes far in the game, but I think I'm in 3 minds. I'm looking at JD, Eric, and Ricard. I know I've got to pick one of them. I think I'm just going to agree with the majority here and go with Ricard. I think he seems very perceptive. He seems like such a fun guy. He reminds me a little bit of Todd Herzog, so I'm really curious to see how he sort of plays the game and adjusts to Survivor 41.
Yeah, when me and Adam were stalking these people on social media, we didn't find a lot on Deshaun, and that led us to kind of be low on him at the start. Then his interview came out, and I got real high on Deshaun. He's my winner pick. I'm going with him. He's got a real nice head on his shoulders, so that's my guy.
Deshaun?
Mm-hmm.
Who was, getting just real quick, who was your winner pick before
it was David. It was David, and strictly because Tennessee represent. But now I hold the position that David is either first boot or winner, and there's no in between. That's the position I hold. So I think he might be first boot. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely weighing a lot more towards first boot on his.
But a good first boot.
Oh yeah, legendary.
Yeah, Drew, I know you said Eric. Did you want to elaborate what you like about him, what you're excited to see?
So I don't remember who said this part either. I think it might have been Alexa. It could have been anyone. I tried my best not to pay attention to any preseason media coming into this season, just because I want to go in as fresh as possible. So, you spend a lot of time watching videos and reading things about edits, and you start to look for it. I don't want to look for any of that in either any preseason media and anything like that. So I literally just went off of Eric because, come on. But also because I liked his little intro video that they released. But I hope anyone wins. Anyone. There's not really anyone that I was just like, I can do without you. So I'm just hoping for a great premiere. And yeah, if Eric wins, I'll feel like a great guy. But if he's the first boot, I'll just look like some jabroni superfan, like my name says.
Absolutely. If I had to pick one, again, alluding to back what Gideon said at the beginning, we've been kind of, I feel like we've been sounding like broken records, putting this, saying this theory about 10 times every episode we do about Sydney getting a potentially medevac, which is literally just based off.
We don't want it
one-
to happen. We like her a lot.
It's literally just one, Jeff saying it's a dangerous season, and two, the fact that like you can tell when her break on her, because she's a pretty frequent Instagram poster, and you can tell like, okay, here's the point when she left, and as soon as that first post starts, when she comes back, it's like bad leg injury. It seems like she's fine now. I think she was posting videos of her swimming the other day
Is
or
she your
something.
winner
but
pick then, or
She
She
would
was.
have
I think
been my
she
winner
was.
pick.
Yeah.
Because
All right.
other people, I didn't know this, and I don't. This might not be true, but other people were posting in comments for previous videos that apparently when Aris got back from Panama, he had some injury that he like couldn't walk or couldn't use
Yeah.
his arm or something, and he was like,
yeah.
there was a lot of photos of him taken by the press, and a similar thing. Everyone was like, okay, no way this guy wins because clearly,
gets hurt.
he got injured, and of course he ended up winning the season. Spoilers if you haven't watched Panama, but so I'll say Sydney in spirit, but if I did have to pick one, you know, I don't want to just roll on the Ricard train because I feel like 80% of America feels like Ricard is going to win, because like when you watch the guy, he feels like a winner. You know, he feels like
Yeah,
he
he
feels like
does.
feels like he
Yeah.
already
does.
won. He just has that swagger, has that confidence to him. So you know, like Gideon, I think you mentioned this in a previous video we did. He seems like the obvious winner, and
He
usually,
does. Yeah.
yeah. So usually the obvious winner doesn't win. So that makes me not want to pick Ricard. And sorry, this isn't like a straightforward answer. I guess if I would have to pick someone, I might go ahead and pick Tiffany. She seems very focused, very wise, very down to earth, but not in the sense of like, you know, she's a mom, but she doesn't feel like a mom character. She feels a little more cool. I feel like she's someone who could like vibe well with the young people, and there's a lot of young people. I'm interested if this is the youngest season of Survivor ever, because there's what, like
They're pretty young.
5 people under the age of 22 this season or something like that.
there's also like 4 people that are like 50 and up, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
This is
Ghost
good
Island is still the
range.
youngest.
Ghost Island. Yeah. This season almost feels like more millennials versus Gen X than millennials versus Gen X did,
Yeah.
in a weird way.
Yeah.
Just to refer back as we're growing a little closer. While one of you guys were talking, I looked it up. There is a website that's literally called like daysbetweendates.com. So shout out to whoever created that website. There is, does anyone want to guess how many days it's been, or not how many days it's been since our last episode of Survivor? Any guesses?
I can't math.
16 or 17 months.
I'll spitball and say
Somewhere in there.
482.
Yeah, I'll say 518.
I'll take 483.
Say 519.
500
Oh, really?
flat just to be in there.
I'll go 420.
Oh, there,
Nice.
yeah, there we go. Someone had to
there
do
it
it.
is. Ozzy would love you. All right. Carry on.
It has been 498 days since
Shit.
the season finale
Wow.
of Winners at War. I don't know. I can't remember. There was no reunion for Winners at War, right? They never
It was
like
virtual.
Nah.
There was a Zoom call.
Yeah.
Oh, they did a Zoom call.
They
Zoom
did a
call wasn't
whole
even
thing,
in real
yeah.
time. It wasn't even in real time.
They were just all on the screen. Jeff's just like, "Oh, Tony won. Bye, guys. See you later."
Amber and Rob
See
had
you
the
later.
same background in that Zoom call, man. They were,
Yeah.
It was filmed.
Well, very cool. I wanted to ask, as we're getting close here, we're getting real close. So maybe like the last question we can go around and ask everyone is just, you know, obviously Jeff has promoted this in a couple ways. We've touched on this a little bit today, of it being like a monster in a horror movie, it being a dangerous season. The logo itself doesn't have much, but one thing it does have is like it looks like some lightning bolts with some rough waters. There was I guess you can call it leaks, even though anyone with a phone could have looked it up. Like the AccuWeather forecast for Fiji, it looked like it was pretty much raining nonstop for the whole production. Actually, before I go to this question, might as well just go ahead and add our special guest here, who's joining us at the last second, to give us his opinion here on season 41. So, Russell, welcome to the screen. How you doing, man?
What's happening?
What's happening, guys?
What's up,
Hi, Russell.
Hey.
I don't have a green screen, so this was the best I could do.
Looks great.
It's perfect.
It's like you're in Fiji.
That's
I
right.
feel like I'm in Fiji right now. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
what's happening?
So Russell, I guess the question we want to ask you, running off of kind of the last question I asked everyone, 26 days. Jeff has said it's just because of COVID, but hopefully it sticks that way if it ends up being too fast-paced. But what's your thoughts on that? How do you, obviously you're the only one on this live stream that has been out there. How do you think it'll affect the gameplay?
First of all, the 26-day thing, I'm okay with due to everything going on. It's fine. I get it. I understand it. But I can tell you right now, there's no possible way that I will play in a 26-day game of Baby Survivor. Because it's just, I don't care how they try to edit it. Monsters in the room. If a monster was in your kitchen, what would you do? I would shoot it. But it doesn't.
No guns for
Everything
PJ.
else. I mean, it doesn't make sense. The whole thing is they trying to make it okay with us, the viewers. They're trying to make it okay to where everybody's like, okay, 26 days, we're good with that. I'm not okay with that. And I can guarantee you, every single cast member now was disgusted when they heard 26 days. Because anybody here that wants to play the game, do you want to play the 26-day version? Or do you want to play the 39 days, one survivor? Like, it's embedded in their mind. And it's not only that, it's harder. So we, the people that play, they want the ultimate challenge. When you cast 20 people out of 10,000, 20,000 people, those people want to play the game. They want to play the game for real. And when they go out there, all of a sudden it's 26 days. Look, this circumstance was different. And I understand it. I'm not trying to go off on Jeff and them with this. This whole circumstance is something I probably would have done myself if I was the executive producer, because it had to be done. It had to be done. It's the world we live in now, but it won't always be the world we live in. So if you telling me that you're going to, because I seen an article that Jeff said he may keep it 26 days. I do not agree with that. And I swear to God, I will do everything in my power for you guys, every one of you that want to play this game the right way, to make it 39 days when you play. I just don't like it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. The 39 days thing is iconic and all that. You were talking about talking to the producers. If you could talk to the producers about the different twists this season, we've got a little bit of information. What's one thing you want to see back?
No rice, which I know they're doing. No beans, which they're probably doing, because they're saying, 26 days, they're not getting nothing. We're making it harder. Wait, what? We didn't get rice in season 19, season 20. We didn't get beans and none of that. And we played 39 days. So you're going to make it harder. And that's what they're going to do. That's what we're going to see. I guarantee it. We'll see them say, we get no rice, no beans, this is how we're going to do this, and that's how it's going to be. We're going to make it tough. It's the toughest game ever. I played like I was playing a two-day game, 2 days. What I'm saying is, it didn't matter if it was 2 or 100. I'm still playing hard and fast. I talked to my buddy Boo just not too long ago, and I said, they say they may keep it at 26 days. Boo from Fiji. And he said, you would be better at that. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? He's like, because you're so fast and they don't have time to think. And that's how you play, which maybe that I don't think that if I went and played a 26 day game of Survivor, I don't think it would hurt me. I think that I could adapt pretty well. People like Parvati, it would hurt. She could never play a 26-day game of Survivor because she didn't even start playing the game to the merge when I played with her. She don't play until it's like the last seconds of the game. That's how she plays. A lot of people need time to play. I don't need time to play. I just love the elements. I love seeing them suffer, and you can't suffer in 26 days.
Yeah, Russell,
absolutely.
If you came back and played it and you won a 26-day season,
I would be upset. I would be upset.
Would you throw it away? Would you rip up the check?
Would you rip the check? Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't rip up the check. I wouldn't rip up the check. I'd keep the money because it'd probably be $2 million in 26 days, which is the profits of that is pretty damn good. But
yeah,
I would be the first to say that it's not like I used to play. Like I won't sit there and say, I finally won. It was the best ever. No, my best ever was season 19. So there's no way, even if I won the game, there's no possible way it would be my best game ever. My best game ever, I didn't win.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, very cool. I know we're, as you guys can see the timer, we're getting real close to the premiere episode here. So real quick, I'll run through everyone. What's something else you guys want to see back? Russell said, give them less, no rice, no beans. I'll go ahead and throw out bringing the card challenge back. Something I always love to wait for. You guys just want to go real quick and just say one quick thing you want them to bring back.
The auction.
You took mine.
Bring back the auction, please.
I agree with that too, Luke. But the thing is, it's not enough time. They won't do it.
You don't think? Yeah.
It's not enough time. The production is so fast now.
Yeah.
Just one last thing. I texted a producer today, and I said, "Do you like this 26-day thing?" He said that the public, they're never gonna even know that it's even 26 days because they're gonna edit it like it's like you're watching it every day, however many episodes. And I'm like, man, I don't like that. I mean, yeah, not us, all of us on this panel will know what's going on.
Yeah.
But, so that's why the auction thing's probably not going to happen. It's too fast.
Yeah. So I would say bring back Final 2, get rid of Final 4 fire making, never bring back Edge or any returning player things. Maybe maybe make the idols a little more dynamic, make them a little harder to find. Yeah, that's what I would say. I would be happy with all the new twists. If they want to bring all these new twists, I'm cool with it. I just would like to see, like, the fire making stuff is boring at this point, and I like Final 2 more than Final 3 personally.
Yes, I agree with all that.
I'd like to see the Final Immunity Challenge come back in the terms of, hands on hard idol or a more endurance-based challenge. I know that's not going to come back based off what we saw in Palau, but please, Jeff Probst, cut your hair. I don't like the mullet at all. I'm not forward to seeing that, so, go back to your old style, please.
I like the mullet, dude. It's a good look.
I'm okay. I'm okay with it.
Alexa, do you have something you want us to bring back?
I think this isn't as obvious, but I really like when the loved ones participate in the challenge, and I would really like to see that back. I feel like they haven't done that in a while.
I think we're getting a loved
Yes,
ones at all
those
this
are two
time.
really
I
good
know
things.
this is not the season to ask for it.
No loved
Yeah,
ones
yeah,
for the
yeah.
next 2 seasons.
Yeah, the food thing, the loved ones thing, everybody wants to see again, but it's so fast paced.
Yeah.
The regular people may not understand, and they may see how it's the same game, but we won't see those things because it's so fast.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What about you,
Also,
Drew?
Winners of War had all the loved ones come in. So
Gross
you can't
eating,
forget.
gross food challenge, and
Yes.
changing the final tribal council back to letting people
Yeah.
grandstand and ask questions one by one instead of
Yeah.
what they do now. Other than that, we're good.
Real quick, I like fire
Absolutely.
tokens. That's mine.
Oh wow, interesting.
I'm okay with that.
I support that.
I like economics. I want to see more like of an economy with them. Like I'd like to see.
I'm a
like, inflation
socialist,
stuff.
so like that's not really my thing.
Very cool, very cool. All right, guys. Well, as you can see, the clock
there you
is
go.
winding down. Season 41 is about to be here amongst us. Guys, if you watch this, thanks so much for joining our live stream. Go ahead and subscribe to Survivor Buff, subscribe to Snuffed, to Idled Out, to Peridiam. Coach Drew is also on here on Reality Pop. So with Snuffed, with Survivor Worldwide, check out the Survivor Specialist, check out Analytical Strategy, check out Russell Hand's show on YouTube. Enjoy season 41, guys. The timer's up. Thanks so much for watching.
See you in 490 days. Bye.